Rachel's just been using a stool for a night table, but she wanted something bigger. So I set up this bucket with a board on top to figure out how big to make a new one. I came up with a relatively elegant design in CAD, and then I printed 1-to-1 templates to take to the shop. And I'll be making out of some oak that a fan, Pat Doyle, brought. And this board is just a little bit cupped, so I'll rip it to width before I do any planing on it. I'm taking off very shallow passes because I want to leave the pieces as thick as possible. Rachel now wants 2 night tables, so more pieces, and I've been very carefully selecting these. This always takes a long time. I've got 4 feet, 2 backs for the 2 of them, 4 sides, and 4 of the upright legs. And I cut some of these before planing them to make better use of the material, and if I feed them through back to back, I won't get any snipe. Got my pieces all cut out. Next is cutting the joinery, and I set my marking gauge just straight off of the drawings and then marked where all the mortises go, and I'll cut those with my slot mortiser. Now I need to cut these 2 tenons on the ends of these workpieces, and I've already cut a test tenon on a piece of scrap to make sure it fits right. And here it is on my quickset tenon jig, and I took out the table saw insert so that more of the sawdust ends up inside the saw. I only needed to take a millimeter off the edges, so I just pushed it sideways across the blade. These tenon all require a little bit of cleaning up, like this ridge that's left between the 2 cuts. And making sure this corner is nice and clean in here, and of course rounding the edge of the tenon on the belt sander. I should have used the panda router for this. These little blocks I'm gluing onto the corners is to make the trim actually follow the bevel on the edges. Now I just need a drawer that's going to go right here. I'm making some drawers for the nightstand, and the width of that is determined by this cross piece. So I take that length minus 2 drawer slides minus the sides of the drawer, and that's how long the middle part of the drawer needs to be. And I've already set a stop block for that on the table saw. That works out correctly. Before gluing the side frames together, I rounded all the corners on the belt sander. And I also drilled the screw holes for the screws that hold the top onto. And here's jigging it up to get the gap between the drawer front and the top of the table just right. I'm not sure if these full extension drawer slides are the best for a night table, so in this one I just made some wooden drawer slides. At this point I remembered the drawers are just glued butt joints and I should really reinforce those a little bit. The nice thing about using drawer slides is the drawer doesn't fall out. So on this one I added some internal stops at the 3/4 point. And the way these work is there is pins in the drawer, both sides, and pins here that prevent that from coming out. But after inserting the pins, how do I get the drawer in there? Well, easy. I just unscrew it from the top and I just bend the sides apart a little bit to get it past those pins. And now with varnish on, it kind of brings out the color of the wood a bit better. And the way I designed it, it fits nicely around the baseboard heater, and it wouldn't block a floor register if there was one, and there's enough room for a wastebasket underneath. And I was really happy with how that came out, so I spent the time to make a nice set of plans available for it.